So needless to say, American jet bombed and didn't kill any Americans. So you imagine they're a little bit pissed off.
Yeah. The conspiracy brains are tingling on that one for them, I'm sure.
Our vehicle's in there somewhere. There's a white Range Rover sitting there somewhere. But Luigi Barzani, he's a big deal. He got seriously injured. But President Barzani's like, hey, you guys get over it. America's here to help. Don't be pointing fingers at nobody. And we just drove on.
And Barzani, when did he get power?
There's our vehicle right there.
That was you?
I'm in the back.
Is that you standing up?
I don't remember.
Like it.
Maybe.
Made it on BBC.
Yeah, he's got the only video of the after. There's some video before it. But, yeah, I was whack. That was whack, dude. But luckily nobody got in severe trouble over it because it proved to be an accident. But we went on down and went to Makmar and took that town. And, man, them people poured into that place. They poured into it.
And you said that was on the way to Makmar.
Yeah.
So the end of the mission was to get there. And this was just...
Yeah. Let them do what they did. Went down there, cleaned that place out. Let them jump back into office. They wanted to take their offices back in their
the Peshmerga.
Yeah.
What month are we in now? Are we still in March?
Probably March. Yeah, probably still March. Early April or March. I can't remember for sure. But probably March. Oh no, it says right there. That's April 6th.
All right, so beginning of it. Either way, it's like 2-3 weeks into the invasion.
Mm-hmm.
When did Bush? Can we type in Bush mission accomplished speech Iraq?
I was thinking April.
What date that was? I think it was April too. Like when you were making that before that accident happened, when you were making that trip at this point, you felt pretty in control. You felt like there's not really much fighting. His army's running.
Yeah.
Saddam's,
Well, there was a point where we got down to Debeka Pass. I wasn't there when they first got there, but third group and some other guy, another team of ours was there. And there was a big mountain range out there, I don't know, 1,500 meters away. It's like a huge valley. The road just went straight down. Mm-hmm. There's a 4-way intersection right here that had a bunch of mines in it and stuff. So somebody went out there and cleared the mines, but they're rocketing over here towards these dudes all the time and blowing up stuff and this and that. And finally, one day, somebody came over the radio, and I was standing here when this happened. Somebody came out of B-52 out of Heathrow, said, we're coming. We got 27 2,000-pound JDAM bombs. We need somewhere to put them. Anybody got any place? And I was like, oh, we got a place.
Put them right here.
And here's a whole mountain range. So they said, put them right on the inside of that mountain and just drop them till you run out. And they went doop, 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 doop. And I have video of it, and all you see is this blue arc. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I'm like, remember that scene in Iron Man where he stands up and the mountains just blow up?
Yeah.
And he's like, dun, 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 dun.
Well, imagine this. Supposedly, there was 45,000 people, bad guys, or Iraqis on the other side of this mountain top right here. And the only reason we were so worried is because when you drive, once you get to the mountains, it's like 100-foot walls on both sides of the road, just like this. There's cutouts. And, I mean, perfect ambush position, dude. And so we all hopped in our vehicles the next day and just like, here we go. I had no idea what to do. Drove down there and drove, and there's smoke and shit going everywhere. And we came out of that thing, not a gunshot, nothing, boy. And as we come back, you can look back like that, and it ain't nothing but scorched earth. I mean, don't tell him. I mean, I don't even know, man. That was brutal. Can you imagine being at this end and they start hitting down there? You're like, thud, thud. Oh, that's bad.
No. Yeah, there's nothing for me to compare that to in my mind. A movie doesn't count. A documentary doesn't count.
I've never seen a B-52 strike before.
B-52 is the coolest damn thing.
What does that sound like?
It's a Vietnam era.
Yeah.
Call it arc light.
We had a bunch of old school Rolls Royce engines or something on it.
Yeah, Merlin Rolls Royce engines in it.
2, 4.
But when it all hits, when it all hits like that, like the ground thunders and whatever, you're far enough away though. It's not like blaring your ears.
You can feel it though.
Yeah,
but you feel it.
You can feel it, but you don't really hear it as bad.
Right.
And then before this happened, though, a bunch of Iraqis, because they're giving up all the time. I mean, they're always. I don't blame them. They didn't want to be there. Some of them.
Yeah.
And a bunch of them are coming down the road, giving up, waving their T-shirts and stuff. Like 20 of them or something.
Soldiers, you're saying?
Yeah,
this
soldiers.
2003.
Yeah. And you remember they're just like giving them. I mean, they're giving up right and left. And so we're not gonna shoot dudes who are giving up. So here they come down the road. Blah blah blah. Okay, keep guns on them. You know, blah blah. You got our freaking Mark 19 sitting there, 50 cal, and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden, this dang vehicle, 4-door SUV. I think it was Land Cruiser. Comes running down the road, stops. 4 Iraqi officers get out with AKs and just gun them down. Right on the side of the road. Just innocent, nope, unarmed, everything. And they're laughing about it. Because somebody's looking up to this big spot and scope. And
That's not going to be
another
okay.
dude, I'm not going to say his name, doesn't like it. And picks up a freaking javelin.
Sends them straight down.
Do not waste that $18,000 missile on that freaking vehicle. And they're going, whoop. Back blast area cleared. And he goes, poink, ting, and just shoots off. And this thing's hauling ass down the freaking
Javelin's
asphalt.
sweet.
Yeah.
Wow, hits this thing and just, it's over. I mean, it's cool.
Taxpayer money right there.
That's not wasted at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't me. It was somebody else. So
Okay.
I will not,
We have that for the
I
record.
will not even claim that one. It was very cool.
That's not mine. So once because by the way, we looked this up. It was May 1st. George Bush gave that
Oh, and
famous
his
mission
flight
accomplished.
suit.
Oh
Yeah.
boy,
It's great.
what an image! Like you want to talk about just like what's it? The freezing cold takes account. Just the image of him in the flight suit on a boat with a giant mission accomplished.
Yeah.
That one right there. That's a meme for the history books. But at this point, like, are you thinking to yourself, that's the vibe? Like, hey, we got this? Or what are you seeing different things on the
I
ground?
didn't feel like it was over yet. I mean, I think I felt like we kind of accomplished to do a lot of the stuff that we planned to do, but I wasn't really in charge of a whole bunch at that point either. You know what I mean? So, but I was like, there seems like there's a lot of bad guys left running around out here somewhere.
Was it but as you said, a lot of soldiers are giving up, but now it's like kind of it's a no man's land in a lot of ways. There's a lot of, like you said, insurgents.
Well, the cool thing was there was a green line in the beginning.
What do you mean?
Like, here's us, here's a line of what we own, and here's all the bad guys over here on this side.
You talking about the green zone?
Like, well, it's the same kind of deal that runs through it, because that's the area it's inside that green line, in other words.
Okay.
So everything in here, we've already shot them or did them or whatever else we're going to do. Everything outside that line is, no man's land hadn't been conquered yet. And at this point, most of those still outside that line, and all this by a long ways. And we call that driving to that place Escape from New York, because it's so freaky.
I think Fallujah and Ramadi were they might have been in it.
Yeah, but they weren't friendly.
But they were teetering.
It's where the infestations within.
Where was Al-Zarqawi at the beginning? He got there like right before the war, right? Or did I make that up?
No, I think it was after it had kick-started. I think correct me if I'm wrong. I think he you'll have to look this up, because if I speak out of my ass on this,
No, I feel you.
He's a master of counter surveillance. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much, man.
Al-Zarqawi was
hard.
yeah, you don't like.
Could not track his butt, boy.
And by the way, for people out there, just context, we're talking about Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, who was known as the godfather of ISIS, who we'll get to it, but you guys killed before ISIS was officially began, but he was the guy who kind of started it. Joby Warwick, that's what his book Black Flags is on. You were on the missions that Joby wrote about in there. You were as well. But he was mentioned in that speech by Colin Powell at the UN. He spent like 10, 15 minutes or something on this guy, Al-Zarqawi. And I guess maybe he was talking about his network that he was setting up in there. Mm-hmm. So he was at least setting up the network in Iraq before you guys got there.
Yeah.
So you go 2004. So it was essentially where he had basically kick-started, once the region became unstable, kick-started the new uprising in Iraq of insurgency.
And when you guys were coming in, did you lose on the initial drop into Iraq? Did you lose any guys within the battalions?
The initial, no.
So it's been to this point. Then we're still in the beginning of April now. Whatever, beginning mid-April. It's been it hasn't necessarily been bloody for you guys, but you
Yeah.
feel like because some of those major areas are still very much no man's land, whether or not the Iraqi army is still around or not, you're thinking, I don't know about this thing, W.
Yeah.
We may have a problem here.
Yeah. Because we already had a smell of Fallujah
Yeah.
already starting to stink over there a little bit, like something's going on. Because a lot of bad guys are running there. That's the thing. Once they started tracking where all these bad guys are going, then we started getting a taste of, all right, there's more stuff going on that we are not in control of. Like that right there, you see it says preceded by it. It just says position created. You know what I mean? It just tells you right there. He's like, I'd be good
Yeah.
right here. So
Were you working at this point? Like, are you working with the intel community?
oh yeah.
So what does that look like?
I don't know if at this point we did, because when we went to Mosul, we took over the airfield, and then we built we took over the what do you call it, the flight area where you come in there and wait for planes and all this stuff, whatever the hell you call that thing, not a hangar, whatever, terminal. There you go.
Flight deck.
Yeah.
So we took that over. We put a medical thing in there. Marines were there pretty heavily. They were
You're
doing,
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And they let me come through the gate, even though I came through this crazy looking car one time, smoking and all that. They still let me come in. And so we had medical there, we had intel there, and those are agency profitable type of deals for technology and for us anyway, and all that kind of stuff. Stuff we didn't have. And then they would just feed it to us on intel reports and things like that. Some of it was good, some of it wasn't as good.
What do you mean?
Because, like, especially him, you get all this stuff on him, and he's already halfway across the country doing something else.
Yeah.
So many dry hole being you hit and there's nothing. That guy, the dry hole master. You go where he was just at 10 minutes ago.
Oh, he's like the ghost.
I'll
He
tell you how
got away.
squirrely he is. There was a contact looking at him that knew him, knew exactly where he was and everything, was watching him had a cell phone, a sat phone, I mean, and he's looking down. They got all those vehicles parked in between this alley. This guy's looking down live with a special forces team and Delta, and he's watching him. This guy's got all his guards out there and everything else. And just as he's about to get in his car, he comes walking in. He goes, "Yep, there he is, right there." About to get in his car, and he's going to tell us which vehicle, not me, tell us a bunch of people which vehicle's in. You know, the white one, the gray one, or the third one from the front, or whatever, because they jump out and disperse. You know. So as he's about to get in the car, one of the guards looks up, was like looking dead at him, and he goes, "Oh crap!" And he leans away from the window, and it peeks back up, and everybody's getting in the vehicle. He's okay, and they drove off, and they ended up blowing that freaking car all to shit on top of a bridge because they started shooting at the helicopter, and blew that thing all to hell. Went over there, and he wasn't in there. Turns out later they found out that as he's getting in a car, a dog ran up and bit him. And so he just turned, instead of getting in the car, he turned around, went to the hallway, and went out the other side to this medical clinic and got looked at.
So sometimes it's just like you're lucky, not even good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm stunned. I mean, that's secondhand to me, but I'm pretty positive it's true.
Did we have any kind of like decent drone technology at this time?
I mean, it was kind of new, wasn't it?
It was pretty new. I mean, I think we had enough. It's helped me. But I will say I've had to go and recover quite a few of them here and there.
Oh, the little
you
drone
did.
especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one swat from me. I was
Yeah,
flying
so-
it, and it just flew off one day. Somebody intercepted my signal, and,
Oh, they intercepted the signal.
yeah, and it took off and just left.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Ryan, when did you get there? Like, what month did you arrive in Iraq? Or in
04 and then again in 05.
Okay.
And that's with this
and that's
asset.
one. Yeah, it's once he's like
Yeah.
fully
Yeah.
got it. Okay, so you're not there like right at the beginning when we're talking about it.
No. I was not there for the
Okay.
invasion.
So when did you first, Danny? When did you first go to Mosul? You remember?
That was the initial invasion.
But like,
Like,
is this? Are we in
April.
May?
March or April,
Okay.
probably. April, probably. We were there pretty quick because we moved over there really fast. In fact, trying to remember if we went down there before. I lose track of what we did first. I can't remember if we went down to Debecca first and then went to Mosul, because I think we went to Debecca Pass and then went down to Mokmar, came back, went back to Peshmerga compound. Yeah, we did, and then went over to Mosul because it's kind of like a go here and then went that way.
How's the traveling with that? I mean, I assume you're worried about IEDs the entire time?
No IEDs.
Nothing.
Nothing. Gunfire, if somebody catches you doing something. We rode into Mosul, convoyed up, civilian vehicles, almost all civilian vehicles, matter of fact, I believe. And that's what we call it, escape from New York. Because there's tires burning, people shooting in the air and all this. But they weren't shooting at us. They're just shooting in the air, acting up. And
They do that. They do that
was like-
weddings and stuff.
oh, God.
You know, you're
They
out on
shoot
a
the
foot
guns
patrol,
off.
and all of a sudden you see a bunch of shots in the air, and you go in and raid a wedding, and you're like, "Oh shit, I just screwed up this person's wedding day."
Or they just won a soccer game and you're
Yeah.
standing outside
Yeah.
minding your own damn business. And like 15 dudes jump out with AKs, start blasting the sky. And you're just like, Jesus Christ. All right.
Have you ever seen the video where they're all doing that and the one kid goes, yeah, he comes in and does it and starts firing everywhere.
But
And
that's
they
just-
go grab him, they're like, no, you shoot like this. And they're all shooting. in the
Danny's
air.
used to it. I mean, they do this stuff in Texas.
Oh,
all
yeah.
the time. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, last time I was staying
Yeah.
in Dallas, it's just
If you can't
people are having target practice in their backyard in inner city Dallas. I'm like, what the piss is going on here? Like, I'm hearing shots fired, and I'm like,
You got the Florida guy a little cracked
well,
out.
so
That
my boy
says
Chris
something.
Corpus is like, no, that's normal here. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
This
okay.
is what we do.
Yeah. I was asking my neighbor, I said, does it ever get on your nerves that I'm out here shooting all the time? He goes, that's why you moved to the country, isn't it? I was like, yeah. He goes, what have I got to say? Nothing. Sorry for your nap.
When you were going through Mosul though and stuff, and even if you thought it was kind of no man's land and stuff like that, this guy wasn't a thought yet. Though.
No.
He wasn't. They weren't really talking about him. No,
I don't even think even close to me. Nothing. I don't even think I knew who he was at that point, maybe.
because it seems like looking at the history of it, based on what I've seen from being reported, but you were on the ground, so you could tell me better. Like, you know, we were focused on trying to say like, "Yay, freedom! We're going to set up democratic government," and it's more like trying to communicate with the people. No, while we're trying to find Saddam wherever he may be, but his army's given up. So, did you get to talk with a lot of local Iraqis along the way?
Oh, yeah,
What was the
lots.
vibe?
They couldn't believe it was all true, for one. I mean, they're very appreciative and this, that, and the other. As far as I could tell, they loved us. I mean, in the beginning. I think one of the crappy parts of all of it, and I really, really regret, is I feel like we just created a lot of terrorists along the way. We didn't know how to handle ourselves with them, you know, how to deal with them. To us, you know, if everything's a nail and I'm a hammer, you know, that's what's going to be. Just keep on hammering them all the time.
I don't think you should regret that, though. I mean,
That's probably why I'm here, because I never dropped my guard, and why a bunch of my friends are here, you know, but sadly, you know, some people
Yeah.
got treated like shit along the way.
Yeah.
I didn't trust anybody. I mean, you know, I'll play along, but, you know, stay where you're supposed to be and don't come over here like any quicker than I like or stuff like that, you know.
I keep forgetting to look this up, Ryan. Keep forgetting to go back to your podcast because I feel like I've told this story on probably 6 or 7 different podcasts since then. But I can't remember. You talked about the story of the door-to-door where, you know, when you had to go door-to-door and get people on the ground and check to see if there were insurgents in the house, where there was a whole family, and I couldn't remember if it was one you did or if it was a story McChrystal told that you then told. But there was one where there was like a 7-year-old kid with a 1,000-yard stare who just looked up at whoever the soldier was, whether it was you or the soldier in the story, and went to lie down on the ground with his hands on his head. And they're like, no, you don't have to. And then he just got up, and they're like, you can leave the house. And he just looked at him dead. And the context of what you were saying is that kid is going to remember me and people that look like me or whoever the soldier was, if it wasn't you, and be like, bad. And that's where a terrorist can be born at such a young age. And then it's hard, like, I don't want to say like, oh, we empathize with terrorists. That's not what I'm saying. But it's hard to not see how that's going to happen.
terrorism is created. It's not, you're not born with it.
Yeah.
So that's not my story, but yeah, I mean, it's like I always say this because Len Westover's drilled it in my head, but second and third order effects to everything you do.
Yeah. Everything.
And that's most important in a war zone, combat zone.
How do you feel about that, Danny? Because like you're there doing your job, trying to do the right thing, right? There are dangers. You have to do things like this sometimes,
Yep.
right? But then
Well,
Do you grapple with what that creates sometimes?
imagine, well, like he said, second, third order effects are instant, like throwing a rock in a pond, throwing a rock in a pond, goes over here, makes frog jump off the lily pad, frog makes the freaking jumping off the lily pad, makes the bird fly away, blah, blah. You see what I mean? Like that. So, for instance, say you're in a nasty-ass firefight in the middle of a town doing a hit, and you're outside, and there's dead people laying around out in the road and stuff, and bad guys are coming, and they're shooting, and RPGs start flying suddenly, and you're loading up your vehicles, and the only way out is over all them dead bodies that are sitting right there. Or you can sit there and get RPG'd. They're dead. You just run. You got to leave. But what do you think that puts into their head? Like, oh, really? You're just gonna just run over my people, my wife? Who else? Who knows all's out here? Because everybody's game. I mean, you carry a gun, you get what you get.
I try to think of the world about intentions all the time. What are people's intentions, right? But the problem with it is that when we don't know each other, on the average, humanity assumes the worst intentions in people.
Yep.
And then that is the attitude they form with that. And that's a prime example right there. In your moment, right there, it's like, stay here and be killed or drive over people who are already dead. That's very mean. Very sorry about that. Let's get on with our lives so not everyone dies. But then the people who watch that are like, yo, fuck them.
Yeah.
They like doing that.
Well, see, the problem is, too, is that if you're in charge, you're making the horrible decision. And I'm doing it to save my people.
That's right.
But I'm making a piss poor decision that's going to have a vast effect on everybody. Yeah. So see what I mean? It's that second, third order effect, man. There's no way around it. You can't do anything about it. You have a shoot through, shoot a bad guy who's about to shoot you with an RPG. It goes through, hits a kid behind him in the head, 100 yards down the road. You did it on purpose. Yeah. That kind of thing. And you're not going to outlive it. I mean, so all you can do is try to do things better, make things more happy, show good faith and all this stuff, but it's super difficult, man, and we messed it up in the beginning.
Emotional pain's irrational, man, always.
What kind of pain?
Emotional pain.
Yeah.
It's irrational.
Yeah.
It really is, especially in that landscape.
Yeah.
And do I blame him?
No, probably not. Because if you put yourself in their place, I mean,
I'd be freaking pissed off.
Yeah, be mad at everybody.
Yeah.
In hindsight, even if you didn't realize it at the time, can you point to a moment where you realize, ooh, this is going the wrong way?
I was interrogating somebody one time, and me and 3 or 4 other people were interrogating him, and I was like, man, we're doing this the wrong way. Because I could tell, I was like, he's not going to say shit anytime soon. And I don't remember, we weren't beating him or anything like that.
This wasn't an Abu Ghraib, was it?
No.
Not those derelicts.
This is actually this is actually a really bad guy, a real bad guy, and he had some stuff we wanted, and I knew he knew it. We saw him do some stuff. I mean, he knows what I want to know, and but the way we're doing it, I was like, you know what, we're doing this entirely wrong. We started talking about it, so we need to take a different angle and figure out what it is he cares about, and let's start working on that and all this. And at some point, while we're doing all that, it kind of came on to me. It's like, you know what, I might have been doing a whole bunch of different. I was laying in bed later, and I was like, I might be taking this approach a whole wrong way all the way around, the way I'm asking for people to do stuff. Rolling into a village, snatching somebody up, slapping them around a little bit. Hey, I said, because I don't care. I want that guy, and that's what I want. You know what I mean? Not beating anybody, but I assume you're with him. You know him, blah, blah. Give you a little smacky smack here and there, throw you around a little bit. I said, get over there, and do it. And that's the way things are done. Not damage them, but just, scare them. But you don't know. Meanwhile, that guy's like, that terrorist organization that want me to come help, I can make me an extra $100 a week to helping out. I think I'll just go help them. Screw these idiots.
My sons too.
Yeah, I'll take them too. So then there you are. You're stuck with that. So then you come up with a better way to do it. Win the hearts and minds, which Special Forces, one of our big things is winning hearts and minds. And go in there and just kill them with kindness, the ones who deserve it, that is. Once they've proven themselves worthy of the kindness, and go in there, dig them a well, help them with their animals, this, and that, and the other. And like we had one, we accidentally burnt down a abandoned marijuana field.
Oh, that's such a sin.
Because we didn't realize that all those stalks that were left over is what this village used for firewood. And we burned them all. So they had no firewood, period. And it's a village way up in the middle of nowhere that doesn't
it gets
even.
cold.
They don't even know there's a war going on. That's how
Right.
far away it is.
They're like in the mountains, are you saying?
Yeah, way up. And we ended up, not me, but we coordinated to, I forget how many tons of firewood we put on C-17 and flew it over there and gave it to them.
That's awesome.
So,
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Guys, if you're enjoying this current episode with Danny, I did another one with him right before this. The link is in the description below for you to check out once you finish this episode right here.
But I mean, you want to talk about it being a complete, because you know how our thing is, big marijuana field, burn it. Poppy seeds, up, burn it. And all of a sudden, this guy's like, what are you burning our shit for?
Yeah.
You know? And all of a sudden, you realize, damn, dude, pay attention.
Yeah.
See what people are doing here.
There's a scene in, you ever seen the movie The Patriot?
Yeah.
Love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a scene towards the beginning where they walk out of the meeting in South Carolina where Mel Gibson had said, I don't really want to go to war, but everyone else wanted to, and they agree. And so the whole crowd's waiting out there, and then a kid runs out and goes, the vote passes, voting for the war. And everyone goes, yeah, right? And so there's like a little bit of dialogue, and then it comes back to the crowd, and everyone's celebrating, kissing, hugging, whatever. And then the shot shoots to a time lapse, and suddenly it's dark. There's ominous music, and there's the British Army controlling that same spot, and it's like 9 months later or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think about that when I see imagery on a parallel universe here of you passing out all the American flag pennants to all these different kids and whatever, and stopping on the street and talk with these people who are viewing you as a hero, and righteously so in a lot of ways. And then I don't know when it is. Maybe it's 6 months later. Maybe it's 9 months later. Maybe it's a year later. Some of those, if it's not the same people, some of those same types of people in the same places, maybe 6 months ago you could have stopped and talked to.
Yeah.
They're now like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And they what? Do you remember being like, whoa, the vibe here has completely shifted like that?
Well, I remember we did a toy drop and went to a school with all these toys that Americans had shipped to us, and we'd go into a place and lock it down and have all these kids. We'd put it out on tables. We'd bring snacks and all this stuff. And we did a toy drop in a place at Diyala Province, which is the same place we got in that really ugly firefight about a month later.
So
Fair
May.
enough. So they weren't friendly. Yeah. They weren't friendly. And gave all these kids toys and soccer balls and all that. We even flew over and had Blackhawks sometimes. We didn't have time to do a whole bunch of stuff. We just start pitching them out down the road and let soccer balls just bounce down the road. Little kids are just loving it, man.
Just pelting kids with toys.
It's like remember when Trump was throwing the paper towels?
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. It was fucking hilarious watching them. This thing's bounced like 100 feet, but you had to make sure you did you had to do it before you get into town. You just make sure they're looking at you first, But we came back the next day, and little kids you can tell they've been slapped around. All their toys and paper and pencils and everything are gone. There's a big pile over here where it all got burned and all this.
Oh.
And the teacher's sitting in there. She wouldn't even come out of the building. She's like, I'm not allowed to talk to you. She told the female interpreter, because we always take female for that kind of stuff, and she came out. She's like, she's not allowed to talk to you. If she talks to y'all, they will kill her dead.
Was that pressure though from like the mafia of the local insurgency?
Yep.
So those people already hated you before.
Oh, yeah, they hated us long before.
Right.
But we didn't make things better by getting up in their stuff.
Right.
They're like, oh, you're up in our area now. So little they know, shortly we're going to be way up in there. And we'll be doing all the burning and all that. So, and we did.
What do you mean by that?
Well, a month later or so, we're up there freaking piling them up like cordwood out the middle of the road. So.
Can you elaborate on that?
That firefight that we ended up getting into, that ugly one. It happened like a month after that. So these same people were probably the same guys who showed up.
It's like May, June.
Yeah.
Kinda?
Whenever that was, the firefight was it April 6th or
You
April
were in
10th
it,
or
not me.
fuck if I know.
Wait, the one where the accidental bomb got dropped?
No, the Silver Star.
Oh, this is your Silver Star one.
Yeah.
So that was, I didn't realize that was in 03. I thought that was a little later.
No, this is not 03. My bad. I'm talking about, this is one of the points, the turning points. That's how bad it was still.
Okay.
In other words, like, see, we'd already done all these things, and now it's all the way up into 06, and we're still getting this kind of shit. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Because your Silver Star, I was looking at that earlier. I think
April
that was
6th, April 10th.
05?
5.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
5. I think April.
All right. So what was the context there? What happened? This is now Zarqawi, to put us on the right timeline here. He is firmly in Iraq, firmly in power. Guys like you,
06 those were some nasty years.
guys like you are now brought in to chase him. You've been chasing him, working with intel to do it.
He's going after Zarqawi a lot harder than we are.
What was your at that point, like year and a half into 2 years into the war? What's your day to day? Like, what's your main mission at that point?
Pulling intel and hunting down dudes, and we also had about 100 and something Iraqis, so we had to take them around and do stuff with them. We had two of our guys, two or three, were training them all the time, so we had to take them out on missions and confidence missions. And
I didn't realize you had that many Iraqis with you.
These are going to be like their new army that you're training, like some of their special forces, that kind of thing.
Eventually, but
Can
these
I just say
ones aren't.
how, man, my grandpa used to have this saying, hey, you're either dumber than shit or you got bigger balls than I do. Time will tell, right? And he said that to me when I started vet Paul, and when he passed, a couple days before he passed, he said, hey, definitely got bigger balls than I do. You're still dumber than shit. You going out, and you Green Berets, USF boys, definitely got bigger balls than I do. Going out with that many Iraqis in a clandestine environment, doing what you do.
That's wild.
To have the patience that you have to teach, I mean, I have the utmost respect. You have all my respect. You always have.
It's almost, well, thank you. It's almost a narcotic thing you need to take to deal with them.
Yeah.
I'll give you an idea. I wasn't the primary trainer of our 18 Bravos, which our weapons guys are. They're the primary trainers. And so they've been out here teaching them how to do the shoot house and do all the stuff that they're doing and everything. And every now and then we'd go out there, other team members would go out and see if we could help, get in the shoot house with them. Because, these two dudes run the show. There's at least 100. And they weren't special ops yet. We had the ISOFs that we did on different deployments that are the special ops guys. But these guys are trying to get to where they will be someday. And so we get out there and we get to the shoot house, and they call up and be like, hey, man, we got people just pointing guns at each other all the time. We need to get some help out here. So we get out here and get in a stack with them. No, put ammo in it, but not a round chambered. And then run them through the house, and we just get in a stack with them. So you can't shoot anybody. And so we'd run through there, and I mean, we're standing outside the door. I mean, I'm standing right here, and this guy just puts his weapon right behind this dude's head. Right, we ain't even gone the door yet. He's already pointed right back of his head. Finger on the trigger. It's like, I'm like, index. Let's just hold on 1 sec. And I told him, come over here, bro. Because I got a bad habit of walking around with the dang finger on the trigger, dude, off safe. I mean, it's an AK. I mean, it'll go off.
Oh, yeah.
And so I come over here and I was like, got my interpreter on. Hey, bro, finger is not on the trigger till you're about to shoot something. You're on target. You're, blah, blah. Yes. I know. Okay, have it on safe and all this. Okay, yeah. Get back to stack. Let's go. And go. Stop. Get out of the stack. What'd I just tell you? Don't put it on the back of that dude. And I don't know how many people are doing it behind me. I'm like first 3 dudes right here. Get out of the stack. And it's like 125 degrees. You know what I mean?
Is this a lot? Is this this is just practice?
Yeah, practice.
Okay, gotcha.
But we're right in the middle of a damn flat desert,
Where are they getting these guys from? These like volunteers?
Wherever, yeah.
Wherever?
Yeah, we actually have a selection for the ISOF guys. So if you take all these guys, run through selections, and most of those guys end up being Peshmerga, Kurds, because that's their thing, you know what I mean? They're meaner and tougher. They're just
so you're getting more Kurds than you are like native Iraqis.
Mm-hmm. But we have them together in the same freaking organization, which is pretty fun to watch.
That's interesting.
Sometimes. But so I pull him out of there, and I'm like, hand me your magazine. Has his magazine. I said, see this round right here? This one. If you'd have loaded their weapon like you're supposed to, if we told you to, this round would have been in that barrel, right? Yeah. Your finger was on that trigger. If you'd have punched it, that bullet would have went to the back of that guy's head, right? Yeah. Come out here. Keep your eye on this. So as far as I can see, sit. There it is. Get on your belly and go get it.
That's a nice way of doing it.
Snell trailed it too, boy. Face on the dirt, and his sergeant major was just all up in his ass now. Because he's like, you messed up, dude. You're making us look stupid. So he ran right next to him the whole time. Don't raise your head.
Oh, that's why you didn't have to launch his ass off.
I didn't have to do anything.
Because he had his own sergeant major to do it.
Had his own sergeant major stand there, and he didn't look like an asshole. And he's pretty squared away. And plus, he's one of the country's top martial artists guys for competitions and shit. So he's tough.
Oh, he was.
And he's Kurd, too.
So, of course he is.
So he gets there to choose this dude's ass. He brings it back. All right, you got it? Put it back in there. Get the exact same spot. Everybody stack up again, And my boys are doing all this shit, and I'm just standing there, And Stop. Come here. Hand me that round out there. Flick. Threw it out there. By the time he came back this time, he's throwing up and crying. Put it in there. Do not put your fucking finger on the trigger again, bro. And that's it. That ended it. That dude never pointed that thing into nobody's ass. Never
Learned
pulled
his
the
lesson.
Did that to about 4 or 5 mofos, and then finally everybody's like, I don't want to do that. Well, quit pointing at everybody.
Anybody that watches this and thinks that that's, irrational or outrageous, whatever. No, you're talking about like your ignorance can take somebody else's life.
Kill 'em.
You know?
I think about that all the time for you guys because it's like all it takes is 1 split second of sleeping at the wheel.
Dude, I lost my
50 people are dead.
He was essentially, I love my dad, but from a military standpoint, he was a father figure to me. From getting shot in the back of the head by an Iraqi soldier.
Oh,
Yeah. This shit happens. Gunny Murkison, yeah.
Yeah, figures.
Shit happens more than we know
but
about.
So you're training these guys, and you're then at some point you're like, okay, well, we're literally taking you out in the field with us.
Oh, yeah. So what we do
How
is
does that work?
we do confidence targets. So let me make it very clear, though. I had very little to do with training them because that was somebody else's mission. And I don't want to take any of the So because they ended up doing pretty good on some other stuff.
Right.
But I don't want to take any of the credit for that. We're just down there helping. And we're just offering a new approach, And so anyway, we try to find confidence targets for them, let them go out and find something and build their, their confidence. So somebody found a cache of ammo, and we went out and took them to this place, and we had like 2 cops, Iraqi cops that knew a bunch of stuff too. Turned out they weren't very good people.
You don't say. You don't say.
Yeah. One of them tried to blow me up and stuff, and he ended up in prison, but he hanged. So, but we took them out and found this thing.
Literally.
Let them dig all this stuff up. Let them take pictures with all this stuff they dug up. Who knows? I mean, how long that shit's been there? It's been there since them back in their war, and all this other stuff. And that's where all these 155s and stuff are coming up because they know you go over the Iranian border route, and the stuff's laying everywhere. So take them out there, do some targets. Then we find another one, take them to that one, and try to get them out and do stuff. So this one day we got there broad daylight. We go down to this objective, but there's waterways everywhere. I mean, all these, some are concrete, some are, they're big, they're deep too. And some of them only have this much water, but they're 10 feet deep from the top to sides, at 10 feet. And so we're down there and we go to this big radio antenna, huge, and it's supposed to be some stuff buried at the base of it. So we can't get to it because the damn waterways and we're like, well, crap. And when you're trying to get around these waterways, sometimes there is no way to do it. I mean, you drive here, you got to go way over here somewhere to try to get around this stuff. And so we're like, gosh dang. And at some point, we're standing here looking at it, and I look up and I see this white car hauling ass over here. It's probably, I don't know, a quarter mile away, but it's getting it. And I say, he's got to be on pavement. So let's work our way over there, and then we can let's go down here and see if we can catch that peg. Because I see it's going at an angle. So this road here's got to lead into it at some point. So let's go over there, and we'll hit that, and we'll come up and hit it from the other side. Okay. So here we go, and there's about 100 of them in a couple of trucks, Iraqis, and there's 8 of us, fake 4 in each vehicle, Humvees, 240 on top of one, a saw on top of the other one, machine guns, and we said, y'all stay here. We'll run down here and recon it real quick. As we go drive down there, there's a big waterway on the left side of us, all the way down, and over here is like a big ditch. It's kind of wooded. And it goes, the waterway splits. One goes this way, one goes this way. There's a little bitty goofy bridge that will not hold a Humvee going over it. No way. Somebody just handmade out of sticks and stuff. And as we drive down there's a house up on top of the hill way off over here that has, I guarantee, 60 cars parked around this thing. And it's just all by itself, sitting out in the middle of a pasture. Like, that's weird. That's an anomaly.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it was like stagger. I wasn't in charge of this part, but we staggered them like this, and we're rolling. And be on the lookout. Let's pay attention to what's going on. But that's what all the words are going across the radio. Then all of a sudden, the gunner I'm in the truck with just goes, "It's RPG," and you look up, you see this RPG spinning. It's going straight up though, so I'm assuming a signal. And then all freaking hell breaks loose, and they say by looking at aerial footage and all this, because there's a jet flying above. Oh, sorry. RPG initiates. we duke it out a little bit, then we pull out real quick. That's what happened. Because we're getting it from everywhere, all around. So we backed out, and we knew that there's mortars laying in the road. There's a hill going up there, and we knew there's something on the other side of the hill dropping mortars. So we called in a F-18, and it dropped a 500-pound JDAM on
Hell
it.
yeah.
And blew that thing to crap. It was a flatbed, turns out, with mortar plates welded in the bottom of it. And I mean, it's loaded with munitions and stuff.
Yeah.
So we back out. Okay, that's good. Let's roll back in. Roll back in, kicked it off again. There's machine gun rounds hitting the side of the freaking vehicles. Lucky, they're all bulletproof. And there's a ditch over here, ditch up there, that big long ditch there. And they're coming from everywhere. And RPG skips off the hood of the damn truck one time. One skips off his chicken plate over here. He's behind the chicken plate just taking, the guardian plate on the machine gun. And I mean, it's coming from every place now. And if somebody described it in a movie, I'd be like, bullshit. That never happened, dude. I mean, it's like, it did. And one of those times where you're like, well, damn, these guys got some ammo. And they're being pretty accurate with it.
Yeah.
And these guys in the ditches are throwing them up on the road with grenades. And they're just going, it's like she's changing.
Is there a thought going through your head like, all right, this is it?
What's that? There's a time where you hear me say it, somebody has a video camera on, and I was like, hey, man, we might have rolled into some shit we ain't going to roll out of on this one. Because we had a combat camera guy with us. And he's videoing, I don't remember what seat he's in, but you hear me say it. I said, we might have rolled into something we might not roll out of on this one. We need to get our shit together. Be on it, kind of let's get it. We need to really be on our game now. So I was in this vehicle. And we said, screw it. And I said, I'm not going to sit here and get shot in this fucking vehicle. And I had this S3 guy that was doing a ride along. He's like a office guy, regular Army, whoever, but he was just doing a ride with us for fun.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah, welcome, bro. And he had the M16. I said, okay, when we get out, open that door, jump in that big-ass ditch right there. See something, shoot it. I'm going to run around the back. I'll jump in there with you. I'll shoot down the left side. You shoot down the right side. Let's just jump in the ditch. There's like a little berm. We jumped over. There was a guy standing right there, not right here, but he's got a mortar tube, and he's shooting them literally straight up, and they're coming back down. I was like, how did he even know how to do that? So this guy smokes his ass right off. I mean, burns him down. I'm like, all right, his game's on. Here we go. We take off, do a whole bunch of other shit, running down here. People getting shot. Shot one guy. He fell in the water. He's like got a grenade with a pin out of it, but it just kept holding it. He's just laying in the water. All this cool shit's going on.
Cool shit.
Go around the ditches. Everybody's shooting. Gunners up there doing what they do. We get out of the ditch, climb over, and go to this other ditch. We're standing there. That's one with the waterway behind me, elevated. And this by this time, a couple of National Guard guys who've helped train them, the Iraqis, are coming. And a few of the Iraqis had bled down there. The rest of them, here's the bad thing, they're up here hiding in a ditch. They dismounted and just jumped in a ditch and didn't want to come down there.
They didn't want the smoke on that.
No. And so we're sitting there looking at this thing, throwing frags in this ditch and stuff, fragmentation grenades. And
how many guys did you say, I just want to make sure I followed it. How many guys did you say at the time you think are coming at you?
57.
57.
Yeah. There's 57 dead bodies left. I know that the next morning for sure. And so these National Guard guys are helping us. One of them's over there with my other part of the team. We got an L shape going, trying to hit this ditch right here. Because we're not sure where it's coming from. Oh, before this, though, we get out. We think we kind of knocked it out. It's like, well, it's just a few dudes over here, but maybe the other guys took off. We're standing on top of the road. I walk over to that waterway, and I'm looking into the waterway, and there's that ditch behind me. And we're standing here like this. I look down, I see this big pile of links from a machine gun piled right here, and I can see the bipod spot on it. And there's this big long line of tree line over here. And I'm like, okay, here we go. I guess he took off. We're just kind of looking around.
Guess the party's over.
And all of a sudden here, I was like, what the hell? And here another one go by. But when a round goes by, you can't tell if it's close or far away. You can't really tell. I said, somebody's shooting something. Where's it coming from? And I hear another round go by. And all of a sudden one hits like a foot from my foot. It was like, pow! I was like, oh,
what the fuck?
Okay, I know who they're shooting at now.
Snap.
And I took off running, and that's when we got engaged with these guys. And before you know it, turns out there's 10 dudes in this ditch right behind me the whole time, and I didn't even know we were in there.
So now you got to go down and...
Yeah, but they could have shot me in the back of the head and been done with this way back. And didn't even know it. So we get up there, we engage them. National Guard, one of the Iraqis gets popped. He was actually doing something pretty brave. He's running towards the ditch trying to get some guys. This guy runs out to drag him back. He takes 2 rounds in the side.
The guy who went to drag him.
Yeah, the National Guard guy. 2 here. His name's Kennedy. 2 here and out here. So that's a straight line. and he drops. He's not dead, but he's like looking back like he's got his hand out like crap. And he's a big boy, big guy, strong guy. And he's like, oh man. And he's looking, and I was like, gosh damn it, man. I'm sitting there looking at this dude laying here, and he's right next to the thing. It's kind of wearing me out. And I was like, gosh dang it. So I just went, frag out, just threw a bunch of frags. So I'm going out. And my buddy Mike's right here shooting it right into my damn ear too the whole time, which is unbelievable. But he lowered his weapon. I jumped out there and grabbed that dude and dragged him back. And the whole time dragging him, I'm like, oh crap, this is gonna suck. Because we're like a foot away from this thing, man. They must have they either didn't see me or somehow. I don't know how, but I don't know.
Scared shitless, maybe.
Maybe. And I'm holding my helmet down on my body like that because I didn't want to shoot me in the bottom of the skull.
Yeah.
And so I dragged him back, and I'm sitting on my knees working on him, and it wasn't looking so hot, you know. And that's when that other dude, Iraqi, accidentally shot rounds down between us, and my warrant went up there, took his weapon away from him, and sent him about his way. Then I said, "This ain't gonna do it. We need to get him up there to the truck." And so loaded him up on a litter. Me and another guy came down there. Tracy came down there and helped me, and we ran up there and put him on the tailgate, and I'm working on him. Meanwhile, this firefight's still going. One of the lieutenants from National Guard runs down the 12 gauge down the ditch, was tearing shit up. He gets shot in the shoulder, doesn't stop him, keeps killing stuff, gets done. My 18 Echo's calling in fire and medevacs and all kinds of crap on the radio. Got a headset in each ear. He bandages him up while he's doing it. This guy gets back in the game. He gets back in and starts doing some more.
Oh, my God.
And I'm working on this guy, and I've got him tubed. I got all this stuff going on. I'm decompressing his chest. I mean, I'm thinking there's probably no chance, you know, because it's critical wounds. And somehow or another, I'm coming and going back and forth doing stuff, and it's like 20 minutes, and he's still alive. And I'm like, wow, if I save this dude, it's going to be incredibly impressive. I mean, I'm going to be so happy I got him out of this. And I'm like, what's your deal, man? What are you doing this day? He said, I just can't breathe. Because he kept coming back conscious, and I had to pull a tube out of him. And because he's gagging on it. And so the last time I was, okay, let me decompress this. And I decompress it again. I'm doing both sides. And I was about to put the tube in again. And I'm looking dead in his eyes because, you know, looking at it from his head down. And I'm looking dead in his eyes. At that split second, I could just see that he wasn't there anymore. Nothing changed. Pupils didn't dilate or get smaller or nothing. It's just I knew he wasn't there. And I was kind of like, fuck. And he's like, all this water just kept pouring out of his mouth, like his stomach contents, you know. I was like, gosh damn it. And so put him on a litter, wrapped him up, you know, put him in a body bag and all that stuff. And I mean, we're still in the midst of this bitch now. It's still fucking getting.
Yeah.
And now these other guys are shooting at us from this other side. So drag him over there, this, that, and the other, medevac's en route. I get back in the game while we're waiting on it. We actually know the guys flying the helicopters too from this base we were at. And we get back in there, start shooting some stuff, get up here on this ditch here. There's a lot of ammo being shot, so ammo's getting very low for a whole bunch of folks.
How many of you are still in this fight at this point?
All special forces are still in it.
So how many guys?
So right now, there's 8 special forces. There's probably about 6 Iraqis dead, maybe of our that came with us, and probably 10 injured at this point. And
where's the rest, like the other 85?
Hiding in a ditch. Still, they ain't come down there yet.
They're not coming down.
They're not coming down.
How many of the bad guys are still standing at this point? 30?
If I had to guess, I'd probably say, yeah, at least 35,
Okay.
probably maybe 40. And because I hadn't really got to evaluate how many are dead. All you got is kind of they quit shooting and we got to get over and look at it at some point. So we do all that, get all the Iraqi bodies lined up down the field, this and that. Medevac comes in. I'm standing out in the middle of the damn road, broad daylight, calling a medevac in. Here's the whole gunfight going right here. And I'm standing there, bullets just flying past me. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Come on in. And I'm just like walking forward and backwards, like maybe they'll miss me. I don't know.
You're like the Southwest guy right here.
Yeah.
Bags fly free.
And so they come up there, and I know the pilot. He burns it in there now. He comes in. He's a Vietnam vet pilot too.
A Vietnam vet pilot flying in like 05?
Yeah, he stands this thing straight up.
My
dude.
dog just like ripping a J and falling in.
It's pretty damn awesome. Pelted me to gravel, and he lands that sucker, and I was like, "You coming out here?"
Hey, you want
Like
to
this,
switch?
and he's like,
Fuck yeah, brother.
and he's just like, I'm good right here. So we loaded them all up, and then a bunch of Iraqis tried to jump on that weren't wounded. And so I'm snatching them off, trying to put all these bodies on. And they were mad because the Americans went on first, because that's just the way it goes. they're our aircraft and whatever, tough shit. I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but it's just the way it is. And so goes. Before it's all said and done, ammo gets low, and there's still a bunch of dudes down in these ditches. And so, at some point you got to get in there and you get to put an end to this bullshit. So,
and that's hand to hand when you do that.
Yeah, that part right there is ugly. And so that got some stuff running down ditches, doing all kinds of filth, and put an end to it right there.
Team effort.
And team effort, by golly.
Gotcha.
Team effort, and put an end to it. And by that time, though, I had called in 6 medevacs. And it's like 2 a.m. Oh, when this happened, it's pitch black too. 2 in the morning when
how
it ended.
How do you engage guys in the pitch black dark?
Close.
Like you just what are you even aiming for? I have no concept of this. Obviously, I've never had to do that.
Well, your night vision's so freaking kick ass at that point, But
so you have that fully on still?
No, I don't have any nods on, but you're so used to the dark. You've been out there.
Your eyes adjust pretty well.
Yeah. So. And it ended. Some of our guys finally got out there. Oh, that other group. I don't want to take away from them. The two of those National Guard guys died. Kennedy and Deal. They named National Guard armories after them in Tennessee, and doing brave stuff. And both critical. I mean, there's no way. I mean, one of us through the subclavian artery. No way to fix it on the spot anyway. And the other one, obviously through all critical organs.
God bless them.
Yeah, I say prayers for them all the time, and called their wives and everything. And so these other National Guards, they end up walking. They said they parked their vehicles and negotiated all those ditches. And I was like, all right. And their lieutenant colonel was in front of them, leading them in there. Like, whew, wow. So he's a person like, go that way. There's bullets flying, dude. He's out there doing his thing. And so we got put into that. Our guys got in a Chinook, got out there to us, relieved us.
So it's pitch black dark. At what point do you know they're all dead? Or do you not really even know?
You quit shooting. That's about it. I mean, you're searching. Which
you guys had, I mean,
we had some thermal stuff, but
yeah, but for aerial reconnaissance, that wasn't possible because I assume.
Well, we got a little bit with the F-18. We got some video from him, but he's high. What I mean?
Yeah.
And we had one. What do they call those little dudes? The little styrofoam freaking. The little silly ones are like $45,000. I can't think of what's most expensive toy airplane you've ever seen in your entire life.
Yeah, I was so pissed the first time I had to pick one of those up. Yeah, we lost this in your area of operation, your AO, and I'm like, I was like, oh sweet, it's a drone. Let's go get it. And then we pick it up.
Paper airplane.
You're shitting me. I could have just bought this at Walmart and stuck a camera on it. Yeah,
it's got a $40,000 worth of cameras on it. Sadly, that's the crappy part. But they videoed a bunch of stuff, and then they wouldn't let us have it. Dang it! So you get to see a lot of it, and we all got to see it once, and then we never got to see it again.
Oh, you got to see
the overview up from that drone.
Replays of this.
Yeah, I have the F-18 coverage, but it's not. You can't see a whole lot. You can see bombs, you can see explosions, but that's about it.
When you guys finished though, and you lost two. I mean, it's horrible. You lost 2 guys in there, and you lost a few Iraqis too. But all things considered, you took out 57 guys.
Yeah,
80 of you. I mean, that's some light work right there.
And didn't lose any special forces guys somehow. I mean, that's a blessing.
It's amazing.
I mean, it's.
But what do you like? You have to go down into a ditch, and you've done this stuff because like this is what you're trained to do. But it's still there's a human element to this. You finish close range. You and your other guys there, team effort. Everyone trying to take these guys out. You guys finish close range, having to kill bad guys, and they are bad guys.
Yeah.
But like. There's 57 dead people right there. Is there like a feeling that comes over you? I don't know what the emotion is, but is there something different that descends upon your soul when you finish that moment and your body comes back to, in a way?
I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. There's a picture of me sitting in front of a Humvee that somebody took the next morning, and I got out this crazy 1,000-yard stare. I don't even know who took it. I'm just sitting there staring off into the distance. I got blood all over me and crap. But I do know I fell asleep on the hood of a Humvee when our guys came out and took over, pulling security. And I woke up in the morning, I was thinking about everything that happened. I threw up like 3 times. Because I was like, man, that was stupid. I was thinking about some of the stuff I was doing. I was like, man, that was dumb. That was stupid. That was dumb. You know what I mean? And it actually scared myself.
Well, dude, I just want you to know, man, as somebody that's been over there and served, and you're one of my best friends. I got to tell you, man, I'm very grateful for you, and I hope you never feel any sense of guilt or I know there's a lot that you carry.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not easy. I'm always here for you, bro.
I appreciate that, man.
Dude, what you and your boys have done for this country, and for the greater good of the world is very appreciated. No
I appreciate that.
What state this country may be in right now.
I'll retweet that right there. Not as a veteran, but 100% I agree with what he's saying.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad somebody feels that way because even no matter what the state of it is, it doesn't change our jobs.
No, and I know that I speak on behalf of you guys too, man. We'll help you carry any burdens that you may carry from
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
you've done for me.
You just said it a few seconds ago too. Like when it comes to the ugliest places and the ugliest situations, someone's got to do it. And someone highly trained and highly capable has to do that. And I don't have to sit here and think about my role in that because I don't do it, and everyone listening, chances are pretty much everyone listening to the same kind of thing. But it's a heavy thing. And, the people that carry that responsibility, you want to see people like you who carry it well and do the job and, don't take advantage of what they do. You're there to do the job.
Well, with you, nobody even know I did it if you didn't say something. So,
yeah,
there you go. Because, people know I got a medal, and they can read that, I suppose. But, I don't do it. Obviously, we don't do any of it for any of that. But, it tells the story of something at some point. And I don't give a shit about all that about that kind of fame or anything else, especially when there's dead bodies involved that are my people. That's shit, dude. If you take credit for that kind of crap, then you're a fucking butthole. You know what I mean? And so, but the thing that you're actually doing this and convinced me to open up about a bunch of this stuff, and so did Ryan. Like I was telling you a while ago, and I was like, it's kind of cleansing to go through this and piece by piece, and just kind of get it out of my mouth for a minute, just like, because we sit around and tell war stories to each other, like silly stuff, but we usually tell it where it's funny, like something dumb. Like,
and there's still shit like that, but like you said, you kind of gotta mesh it out. Like, especially you spent so many years doing so many different things. Obviously, Iraq seems to be the one that was the biggest, the longest. Mm-hmm. But this is the '80s, the latter part of the '90s, the 2000s before Iraq. Like you've been so many different places, and I think it's the best compliment I can get. By the way, when people say that, so I really appreciate you saying that. Like, I think it's important, not just for you to like mesh these things out with civilians like us and everything, but also for all the people listening to this. I think that, this is why I really appreciate what my friend Sean Ryan does. He's kind of got an oral history of the global war on terror from so many different people who had different roles in it. Yeah. And I've always enjoyed on this podcast over the last 4 years talking with the military guys and doing our own oral history of it as well, because I think people, and we all have different audiences. Sean's got his audience, I have mine. I think people need to hear that because, again, we can argue about political decisions made in Washington, D.C. and how that affects things around the world. That's fine. But I don't want to lose in it the stakes that we put people through and what people have to then not only see, but do and then deal with later. And we don't got to deal with that. We just sit there on Twitter and bitch about it,
Well, I do like the fact that I think there's a very purposeful to just let the American public and whoever else that listens to it know what our military does. What I mean? Even if it's me sitting there talking about myself, which I hate to go into this kind of depth and talk about my own experiences and things. That's why I want to pull other people into it that are there for sure. Because I was there. I just saw it. Some of it. I didn't do crap. Maybe, I don't know.
I just heard there's 57 dead bodies that would disagree with that. But
how many of our boys now from hearing you will be inspired to just open up and get out of that cage?
Open up and maybe not find a place that's not where they need to be.
Exactly.
Because that's the part that terrifies me.
Bro, I'm so proud of you, man, for just... I can't even imagine. Dude, I've done my own stuff, carry my own burdens, but...
I ain't gonna lie, I scared the shit out of me doing this.
But
I was even telling my wife, I was like, man, I can't believe I agreed to this crap. When it got down to like yesterday, I was just like, man, I'm terrified.
You're doing great.
Wow.
You're doing amazing, and it's not. But that's great that like it's happening like this. We've been talking for 4.5, 5 hours now because, that's what I want to do. I don't want people to say things they don't want to say. I don't want people to tell stories they don't want to tell. I want people to be comfortable to share what they're going to share here. My job is not to be fucking the CBS or CNN or Fox or some shit. My job is to have a conversation with people, and just like I told you, it goes where they want it to, and what questions they want to answer are mine, they'll answer. But I think it's really helpful for you to put at least some of these experiences out there so that people can see it and understand what happened. Like even me, like all the different guys I've talked to about Iraq, this was such a complicated multi-year campaign that happened with so many adjustments that I learned 12 new things every time I talk with someone different because they're like, oh no, I was here. I'm like, well, where even is that? Like, I haven't talked with guys who were in Erbil or anything. So it's very cool to get that because, again, we can have arguments over whether or not we should have been there or what the overall goal or motive was, but it did happen. Let's talk
Shoulda,
about.
woulda, coulda.
Yeah. Let's talk about what went down, and let's see what we can learn from it too.
Yeah, and plus this is a comfortable environment. I mean, it's like you don't feel like you're being under pressure about doing anything.
Less
You're
is
pretty
cool.
casual. Yeah. He's already typing away, making things happen.
Yeah,
He's drawing
it's easy.
devil ears on your face.
Yeah, he's cutting it up. It's like live tweeting, like, you are not going to believe this shit. This guy's out of his fucking mind.
For real.
If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here